What's up, guys? We're back. We got a new video from TVP World, PVT World. It's a Polish news station that basically has really good info and insights on the war here in Ukraine. So before we jump into it, my name is Vegas, or I go by Vegas. My real name's Saxon. This is Brew, otherwise known as Bruiser. I'm here in Ukraine. I was in the International Legion for the defense of Ukraine. I joined in January of 2023. I'm still in Ukraine. I'm no longer with the Legion. I'm now with Azov, specifically Azov's International Battalion. Azov is the most professional. I don't want to disparage any other units, but they're absolutely one of the most professional brigades within Ukraine. And we also just got word that they are going to be expanding the Azov Brigade. The Ukrainian armed forces and all the top brass see how well Azov operates and how effective they are on the battlefield, and they are effectively doubling the size of the brigade. So it will no longer be a brigade, it'll be called something much larger, which I don't know the name or what that size of unit is called. But anyways, if you're interested in coming out to Ukraine, join a solid unit like Azov. Hey, even if it's not Azov, just join a solid unit. Don't go get fucking meat waved your first week in Ukraine, okay? Anybody who's already in Ukraine already knows what's up with Azov. All the links are in the description below. Email, my Instagram, our direct website. You can apply directly. Also, let them know on the application where you heard about the battalion. If it was through me and through this channel, let them know. If it was through Bruiser, fucking let them know so we have an idea of where our recruits are coming from. Okay, with that said, let's jump into this video, get some insight on what's going on the front lines.
Hello, I'm Jonasz Rawiński and this is Military Mind. Armed conflicts, defense and security, land, sea and air. We've got you covered. Overnight, Russia's air defense units destroyed 46 Ukrainian drones, Moscow's defense ministry said this morning. Most of the drones were downed over the Belgorod region on the border with Ukraine. At least 2 people were injured in the overnight attack and several houses were damaged, according to the official statements. In response, Russian forces launched a drone attack on Ukraine. Kyiv's officials reported about 137 drones targeting several regions overnight. In Dnipro, fires broke out at 2 businesses.
Hey, also, today is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. If you've been keeping up with the news out here, what's going on in the war here in Ukraine, this whole big fucking 2-hour-long conversation between Trump and Putin ended up in Putin saying that he won't shoot or he won't airstrike basically electrical infrastructure here in Ukraine, which, okay, that's cool, but that's jack shit. That's not a ceasefire. That's not what the administration was pushing for. Also, I know I gave some hate to Trump back when, a handful of weeks ago when he was pulling all the aid from Ukraine and talking shit to Zelensky in the White House. That really hurt my heart to see because I was a Trump fan. You know what I mean? That's so you never want to see the candidate that you've been voting for and supporting just act like a complete moron. But since then, Ukraine and Zelensky said, okay, we're all in for a ceasefire. Get Russia to agree. We'll accept the terms, get Russia to agree. Right? Ever since then, the U.S. kicked back on the aid, and hopefully it's now a lot more apparent, if it wasn't already, which blows my mind, that Russia is the bad guy. Putin is the bad guy. Okay? Zelensky says, okay, we'll do a ceasefire, fucking whatever. We'll sign it, we agree. Full stop. And then it takes a 2-hour phone call for Trump and Putin just to get an agreement that they won't strike the electrical infrastructure. It's bullshit. Anyways, I won't ramble.
As a result of Russian strikes, in Zaporizhia, more than 3,000 were left without electricity, and 3 villages were left without water due to a Russian strike in the frontline areas. No casualties have been reported so far. Moving on now to the front line. Overall, the Ukrainian armed forces' mission in the Kursk region has changed from an offensive deep into Russian territory to defending a small border buffer strip to prevent Moscow's forces from advancing.
This is a shame, man. I was a huge supporter of the Kursk invasion because it gives Ukraine some playing cards to negotiate with. Hey, we occupy and own Russian territory, right? This is a great negotiating tool. So seeing this, all the land that the Ukrainians have been defending, just completely whittled down to this little basically village, that's sad, man. That sucks. But hey, holding it for, how long has it been? 7-8 months? When Russia has not been invaded since World War II and the Nazis, Ukraine's been the first nation, and Ukraine's way down here on the list of most powerful nations. Russia's way up here, and Ukraine was able to hold Russian territory for 7-8 months. That's still a huge win. It just sucks to see losing that territory now, because now we don't have that playing card, that ace up our sleeve.
Into the Sumy region. Analysts from the New York Times estimate that the Russian territory held by Ukrainian troops is between 80 and 110 square kilometers, including part of Pasivka and Novienki in the Sumy region falling into the gray zone. In addition, according to Ukrainian military journalist Yuri Butusov, the Ukrainian armed forces are holding the heights along the border, and there is no threat of a Russian large-scale offensive on the Sumy region right now. And now, moving on to the Middle East. The Israel Defense Forces carried out dozens of airstrikes on the Gaza Strip on the night of the 18th of March, according to a statement from the Israeli military. According to the IDF, the strikes targeted mid-level Hamas commanders, members of the terrorist group's Politburo, and its infrastructure. The Israeli army's strikes hit a school in Gaza City. Eyewitnesses told the agency that Israeli tanks shelled areas of Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip, causing local residents to flee their homes and head north to Khan Yunis. One of the airstrikes hit a refugee camp in the Al-Mawasi district in the southern Gaza Strip. The IDF said it launched the strikes after it detected Hamas terrorists preparing attacks on Israel and attempting to regroup. Defense Minister Israel Katz said the strikes came after Hamas refused to release hostages. The IDF said it would continue the strikes as long as necessary.
We don't talk much about Israel and Gaza because I'm in Ukraine. I have served here in Ukraine. I'm currently serving here in Ukraine, and I've fought in Ukraine. This is kind of where my more of a expertise, if you'll even call it that, lies. But I will say, never is innocent civilians dying a good thing, ever. Whether it's Palestinian, whether it's Jew, whether it's Russian, whether it's Ukrainian. Okay? What I will say is Hamas is a terrorist organization. They need to be absolutely annihilated and exterminated to the utmost caliber possible. No mercy for a terrorist organization like Hamas. Okay, the Palestinian people, the innocent Palestinian people, absolutely there needs to be discretion, and there needs to be consideration of the innocent Palestinian people, 100%. But there is a very large difference between the two, between terrorist organization Hamas, innocent Palestinian people. Okay, now with that said, unfortunately, what Hamas likes to do is hide and mix in with the innocent Palestinian people. They keep their headquarters in Palestinian schools. They keep their weapons depots and their armories in refugee camps. So when Israel is making assaults to eliminate this military infrastructure, civilians die, and it's awful. And it allows the terrorists to say, hey, look at Israel, they're just nuking the fucking Palestinian civilians, which to some extent is true. There are Palestinian civilians dying, but That's because the Hamas terrorists are hiding behind them. So again, this leads back to Hamas being the bad guys. Okay? We don't talk much about this, like I said. That's my opinion on it. Objectively, I think that's even factual. Subjectively, it's my opinion. Anyways, we'll move on. Let me know in the comments what you think about all that crazy shit going on there too, because I know the U.S. is now striking Houthis in Lebanon, which or Lebanon or Yemen, I don't remember, but I'm a supporter of that because Houthis, rebels, is a terrorist organization. Houthis, Hamas, Taliban, ISIS. I'm forgetting one. But those are bad guys. Yes, we should be exterminating them. Full stop.
The cyberpunk future has arrived, or at least the one we deserve. A Russian soldier, seemingly straight out of a dystopian film, finds himself in an awkward situation. Locking eyes with a Ukrainian FPV drone, he quickly realizes that things aren't just bad, they are downright catastrophic. His expression says it all. He expected a quick and glorious march, some easy money and a bit of looting, but not this. The drone, capturing him in crisp 4K resolution, delivers a special message from Ukraine's donors and supporters. A flash, a cloud of smoke, and suddenly the uninvited guest received exactly what he traveled so far for. The scene ends as quickly as it began. Let's give him a round of applause for the cinematic effects, if nothing else.
I like this guy. This reporter. Oopsie.
On the 12th of March 2025.
Yeah, he's dead.
On the 12th of March.
I had something to say about that. You would think an FPV would be sweet to just fly up in that bitch and blow it up. I like that this guy doesn't sugarcoat anything, right? This dude. He said this invader traveled hundreds, if not thousands, of kilometers just to come over here and get what he deserves because he's invading somebody else's land. And I believe that dead guy in front of the bunker was Ukrainian. It looked like Ukrainian digi camo. And he was looted. All his shit was pulled off of him.
March 2025, Ukrainian forces from the 72nd Mechanized Brigade successfully repelled a Russian assault near Zaporizhia. Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drones played a key role, halting the advance of enemy tanks and armored vehicles while eliminating Russian troops. One Russian soldier managed to shoot down a drone, but the victory was short-lived. He paid for it with his life. The attack was decisively repelled, leaving the battlefield littered with destroyed equipment and enemy casualties.
Oh shit.
Fierce combat continues in the Serebryanka forest, where the fighters of the Brotherhood of War unit engage Russian forces in intense clashes. The dense terrain offers both cover and danger, making every engagement a battle of skill, strategy and endurance. Watch as Ukrainian soldiers push back the enemy, proving once again that the occupiers have no safe ground.
You know what that reminded me of? That's a UAR-15 right there, I believe, that gun he's using. But that noise reminded me, I saw the other day somebody rocking an MP7. I've never seen, you know what, maybe I've seen MP7s in like shooting ranges and shit, but not like a uniform military use them. That's pretty interesting.
Ай, брат, лови аптечку. Давай, дебил, блядь, где туда? Давай выходи, блядь, быстрее, блядь, у тебя нету выбора, нахуй. Выходите и ложитесь на землю, блядь, сразу, нахуй.
And as we've seen, some of the Russian troops have decided to surrender, which is understandable, given that these underground hideouts, once surrounded, simply become a death trap for those inside. So, again, it was a wise move. After all, they might live to see another day, unlike many of their comrades. And with this, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. Please stay.
I also heard that there's going to be a prisoner exchange, like 175 for 175 or something. That's good news. No matter what, it's good news, but I'm curious if there'll be any Azov soldiers. I have a lot of people ask what kind of rifle is issued. Let me see if I can see my whole fucking apartment. This is the UAR-15. It's well, basically it's like an AR-15 clone. Daniel Defense parts. This is Holosun magnifier, and then this is a Romeo red dot. So, kind of gives you an idea. This is the stock paint job on this one. I did not paint it, but they're sweet rifles, dude. Anyways, if you are planning on coming out to Ukraine, hit us up over here at Azov. And if it's not Azov, at least join a solid unit. Don't go get fucking meat waved in the first week that you're in Ukraine. If you are interested in Azov, hit us up. Links down below. Love you guys. See you in the next video.